Coming up, Thailand Tzu Chi volunteers organize home visitations to better understand impoverished residents' needs. We find out how Taiwan is coping with water shortage by dredging its reservoirs. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen now. Thank you for joining us. With year-end around the corner, it is also time for Tzu Chi to conduct winter aid distribution throughout Thailand. To prepare for the upcoming distribution in mid-December, Tzu Chi volunteers recently conducted home visitation in Chiang Mai's Phang district. This time they were also joined by teachers and parents of students of the Chiang Mai Tzu Chi school.
The Chiang Mai Tzu Chi School in northern Thailand is set against a scenic backdrop of breathtaking natural beauty. However, today, teachers and parents of students of the Chiang Mai Tzu Chi School are shifting their attention to local villages instead. With winter around the corner, 86-year-old Sariwang is worried how she will get through the bitter winter. To understand the needs of villagers, over the span of 2 days, this team of educators and parents conducted door-to-door visits, coming across many families in dire need of assistance.
แล้วตอนนี้ผ้าห่มเพียงพอไหม
ไม่ค่อยเพียงพอเขาเยอะนะแค่นี้
ครับ
It gets really cold in Phang District every year. It was a cold winter last year too. When we learned that Tzu Chi will be conducting another winter aid distribution here, we said we would provide them with our full cooperation and support.
On conclusion of the home visits, volunteers plan to hold a relief distribution in mid-December to help 6,000 impoverished families through the winter. Relief items include jerseys, socks, and comforters. In addition, 119 village chiefs also held a meeting to discuss further assistance for disadvantaged groups.
For those villagers who do not have IDs, will they be able to receive aid too? Even if they don't have any documentation, as long as it has been verified by the village heads that they do reside in a respective village, it won't be a problem.
Though material assistance may be limited, love, however, is limitless. Even with the arrival of winter, villagers can now brave the cold with Tzu Chi and love in their hearts.
It will soon be the first anniversary of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, and the Tzu Chi Foundation's construction of prefabricated homes for Haiyan survivors is well underway. In Armagh, Leh Province, many casual work program participants said they have learned to change for the better thanks to Tzu Chi. But first, we go to Palo, where 80 local residents gave recently completed prefab homes a thorough cleaning. 80 residents of Palo City are ready to give recently completed prefab homes a thorough cleaning. Through their collected efforts, the task can be finished in no time.
Kayang-kaya sa basahan.
It is not that hard to clean up these prefab houses. We can accomplish anything because nothing is impossible as long as we try.
Matatapos din.
2 little boys happily volunteered their time and strength.
We want to move into our new home soon, so we are here today to contribute.
While women and children are cleaning the prefab houses, men take on the responsibility of digging a drainage ditch.
It is great to work with my fellow villagers. Although I'm not a recipient of a Tzu Chi prefabricated home, I'm still very happy to be a part of this meaningful project. Now those in need can move into their new homes sooner.
Meanwhile, in Armagh, the construction of prefab homes for Typhoon Haiyan survivors continues. Inspired by Tzu Chi's humanistic spirit around the construction site, many locals have decided to get rid of their bad habits.
Before work, we will have a meeting where Tzu Chi volunteers share their values with us. Through attending such meetings, many have realized their bad habits, such as smoking. Some even decided to quit smoking.
Kung sa kuan pa mapugnan ba dili tuloy-tuloy perminti.
Thanks to collaboration between Tzu Chi volunteers and casual participants, many left homeless by Typhoon Haiyan will finally have a safe place to call home. After Cyclone Nargis decimated Myanmar in 2008, Tzu Chi arrived to help the survivors recover. The Buddhist charity from Taiwan also decided to help rebuild 12 schools in the remote township of Tianying. We now visit Tha Htay Gwin village in the township.
I often read a pamphlet about Tzu Chi that you gave me, which has helped me come to understand Master Zheng Yin's spirit and ideals. I shall remember to keep a compassionate heart as well.
Wang Te has been treasuring Tzu Chi's blessing and wisdom red envelope, which reminds him of the charity's kindness. Back in 2008, Cyclone Nargis decimated Myanmar. In the aftermath of the storm, Tzu Chi decided to help rebuild 12 schools in Tianying Township, of which the one is Tha Htay Gwin was the quickest to be completed.
For every wall, every nut, and every port, we make sure that they are all properly put together.
Many villagers and parents here have also volunteering joined the sidewalk paving project.
We are blessed to be able to meet and work together in this life. May we continue to share such a bond for all eternity.
Outside of the school, the village chief is showing Tzu Chi volunteers the fruits of his labors, a rice field ready for harvest.
In the beginning, my field was about 0.4 hectare. Then I doubled it and then doubled it again. So now my field is about 2.8 hectares.
Now, some 3 years after Tzu Chi first distributed rice seedlings to distressed farmers who were robbed of everything by Cyclone Nargis, the seeds have sprouted nicely. At the time, the chief willingly shared 2 bags of rice seeds. Now most farmers live in sturdier homes, their livelihood has also improved significantly.
After learning that Tzu Chi helps all those in need anywhere in the world, I decided to donate 2 bags of my rice seeds. Though it isn't much, I've contributed to the cycle of love.
A muddy path is now paved with concrete thanks to the villagers who funded and carried out the project. Having survived the storm, the villagers all learned to appreciate their blessings, and because of the love in their heart, they now have a better future. Medical assistance can change a person's life, and that is exactly what Tima doctors in Indonesia, West Sumatra are doing as they offer treatment for cleft lip on behalf of families that could never hope to afford such a procedure. Let's take a look at how Tima brought a new smile to many a face.
Whenever out in public, Resmawati keeps her head down in embarrassment. Suffering from cleft lip, the young girl has become almost fearful of the glances of strangers.
Outside, all it takes is for someone to glance in her direction and she will immediately cover her face. Seeing her like this breaks my heart, but our family simply does not have the money to pay for her surgery.
Today, Tima doctors and Tzu Chi volunteers are here in Padang of West Sumatra to offer a new start for people like Resmawati.
I am so happy she could undergo the surgery today. Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation, for your help.
I decided to come help today as I have seen that many of those suffering from cleft lip lack self-confidence, who will find ridicule awaiting them in society.
The free clinic was mainly staffed by doctors and volunteers from Padang. However, Tima doctors and Tzu Chi volunteers from Singapore were also on hand to offer their time and expertise.
Although they have a cleft abdomen, you can see they're all in quite good shape. Size of the child is all right. And even the older ones are still in school and so on, which is quite good.
Volunteers also carried out home visitations for those in need. Among their visits was one to the home of Nyamawati, a single mother who has 3 children suffering from cleft lip.
I hope my children can be like other children and not be ashamed of how they look and hold their head high when outside.
They are quite poor, so we here at the Tzu Chi Foundation would do our utmost to help them.
These surgeries not only give cleft lip sufferers a new look, but also a new life to look forward to.
Though the Central Weather Bureau of Taiwan predicted the country should see more typhoon this year due to El Nino, today only 2 typhoons has made landfall and neither brought much rain. This is actually bad news for the country's reservoirs, which had hoped to utilize the storm's abundant rainfall to help destroy sediment accumulating in them, which had reduced their capacity.
This was when Typhoon Fengwang made landfall. And this was Typhoon Matmo. As of September, the 2 typhoons that did land in Taiwan this year, Fengwang, brushed past southern and northern Taiwan, bringing torrential rain to Pingdong and Taidong, while Matmo did cut across central Taiwan, but its rain was concentrated in middle and eastern Taiwan.
In August, due to southeast seasonal winds, rainfall in Taiwan focused on the Kaohsiung region, so the precipitation recorded then was a bit higher than previous years. However, at the same time, other parts of Taiwan saw less rainfall.
The reservoirs of the country are the first to show the abnormality. Before, the arrival of typhoons meant reservoirs could finally unload sediment by discharging water, but with only 2 typhoons and very limited rainfall, other ways will have to be found to deal with sedimentation. At this dredging station in Htay Gwin Reservoir, this channel helps monitor the silt concentration, while a crane barge continues to remove sediment with its clamshell.
Since the reservoir became operational, to date sediment has reached about 230 megatons, which is about 1/3 of the reservoir's capacity.
The largest in Taiwan, the Htay Gwin Reservoir is already 41 years old. Its initial water capacity was 710 megatons, but now the figure has dropped to 480 megatons. Every year, at least some 5.6 million cubic meters of silt flow into the reservoir, while Typhoon Morakot alone brought over 90 million cubic meters worth of silt. Though some 3 million cubic meters worth can be removed via the discharge channel and dredging, the remaining 2 million cubic meters are a problem. At the same time, water management is just as important.
Without impacting the farming industry, we hope the industry might try to save on its water usage by utilizing the water gates more efficiently, so we can have more water to help improve the livelihood of people. These tips should have little effect on rice farming and crop irrigation needs.
Meanwhile, as the Water Resources Agency continues to tinker with the country's reservoirs, it is best for all citizens to learn to cherish their water.
Next, we travel to Taiwan's New Taipei City to meet Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Xianxiang, who is also the owner of a restaurant chain. Knowing that protecting the planet is everyone's responsibility, Huang decided to pass on his business to his children and dedicate himself to Tzu Chi's recycling mission. Furthermore, besides practicing recycling on a weekly basis, Huang even donated a brand new truck to make sure volunteers stay safe when collecting recyclables. Here's more. Picking up bags of recyclables and loading them onto the truck is 65-year-old Huang Xianxiang, who's not only a Tzu Chi volunteer but also a restaurant chain owner.
My children take care of my business in Singapore and Melbourne. I have someone else looking after my business in Taiwan. After my encounter with Tzu Chi, I realized that I need to seize every moment to do meaningful deeds. He is really easygoing and has a good temper. I've known him for some 18 years.
When we ask Huang if he is afraid of getting dirty, he says,
If everyone decided not to practice recycling because they don't want to get dirty, I believe our planet would soon pass away.
After joining Tzu Chi some 7 years ago, Huang has been dedicating himself wholeheartedly to the NGO's recycling mission.
We need to find a balance between work and doing good deeds. Master Zheng Yang once said that it doesn't matter how much we earn. When we pass away, we can't take anything with us.
Besides sorting recyclables, Huang even took the initiative to become a recycling truck driver.
After becoming a recycling truck driver, I realized that it is really dangerous if the truck is not working properly, especially when driving on the highway. I decided then to donate a recycling truck.
Despite his success in business, when volunteering, Huang always insists on being hands-on. At this moment, everyone has the same name, and that is a Tzu Chi recycling volunteer. Did you know that kitchen waste accounts for 1/3 of the waste a family produces on a daily basis? In fact, kitchen waste such as tea leaves, fruit, and vegetable peels can be turned into eco-friendly fertilizer. Next, we travel to Taichung City to meet Tzu Chi volunteer Lu Maoxiong, who has transformed his rooftop into an organic vegetable garden that uses fertilizer made from kitchen waste. On this rooftop garden, one can discover at least 15 different types of vegetables, including bok choy and lettuce. The owner of the garden, Lu Maoxiong, says he only grows his vegetables by using homemade organic fertilizer.
This liquid fertilizer is great. You only need to mix 100 cc of the liquid with 300 cc of water. Although I only use the liquid fertilizer once a week, my vegetables are growing beautifully.
Lu says the secret behind his beautiful vegetable garden is in these plastic buckets. To make organic fertilizer, tea leaves, fruit, and vegetable peels are placed into a bucket. Next, a layer of yeast powder is added. After the steps are repeated a few times, the lid can be placed on. 5 days later, the fertilizer is ready for use. The vegetables grown by using organic fertilizer are not only of higher quality, but also safer for us to eat.
The vegetables are sweeter and don't contain any pesticide. They are healthier too.
According to statistics, kitchen waste accounts for 1/3 of a family's daily waste. If fruit peels and tea leaves are reused, however, the amount of waste will decrease significantly.
昨天晚上我那个儿子把它丢到垃圾桶，我就赶快把它捡起来。
要做什么？
要做厨余呀。
Such small actions not only reduce the amount of kitchen waste, but also turn it into eco-friendly fertilizer that causes no harm to our health or Mother Earth. Also in Taichung, Taiwan, we meet Nishu Scholarship recipient Ye Xiaoying, who has been recognized for her academic achievement. Unlike other scholarship recipients, in addition to being a university student, Ye is a mother of 3, an insurance sales representative, and chairwoman of the Indigenous Women Association of Taichung.
A talented pianist, Ye Xiaoying of the indigenous Taiwan tribe has been blessed with the gift of music. She is able to play along to songs after only hearing them a few times. Hosting various events dressed in traditional Taiwan dress, Xiaoying serves as the chairwoman of the Indigenous Women's Association of Taichung. However, beyond the glitz and glamour is the reality of hardship. This is the simple and small shack where Xiaoying's family of 3 live.
在创业方面，很多
We lack a lot of experience when it came to running a business, hence we incurred a debt of $2 million. We had thought about moving to a bigger place and to provide a better environment for our children. But because we made a bad investment decision, we're now in debt, but it's okay, we'll get through it.
所以我们又回到公寮来住。
Tzu Chi volunteers' care, as well as Xiaoying's optimism and upbeat outlook on life, is what gives the woman strength in the face of setbacks. Hoping to come by better job opportunities, despite working full-time, Xiaoying enrolled in university.
让自己跟家里的人还有孩子有更好的
To
生
provide our
活。
family and children with a better life and better environment is what we as parents are working
就
towards.
是努力的地方啦。
Come lunchtime each day, Xiaoying prepares and delivers lunch to her husband, who is working at a construction site. Although there never seems to be enough hours in the day, Xiaoying nevertheless tries her best to support her family.
Through our interactions, I sense that she is really good with her children. She always encourages them to pursue their interests and hobbies.
慈济的那个志工，我觉得真的是
The
很
Tzu Chi volunteers are really warm. They have always cared for us and shown us great support.
其实也给我们很大很大的支持。
A wife, a mother, a sales rep, a chairwoman, as well as a student. With the many hats that she wears, Xiaoying makes the most out of life and sees hardship as her gateway to success.
New Shield Scholarship recipient Huang Xiaen currently lives in Kaohsiung with his mother and sister. A hardworking student throughout college, this year Huang tested into both Tzu Chi University's College of Medicine and Kaohsiung Medical University. Although Huang has been heavily dependent on scholarships to pay for his tuition, he still makes it a point to donate daily to his bamboo bank as well as volunteer whenever he has time.
所以这个每天不能吃错。
Carefully organizing his mother's medicine is how Huang Xiaen starts every morning. Mature beyond his years, Huang has always been a good student, and thanks to the support of various scholarships, his consistently high grades have won him admittance into 2 medical programs.
After the end of last semester, with my grades, I was eligible for a lot of scholarships. From my first year in college till now, I have applied for many scholarships and received almost all of those I applied to. The scholarships have been a big help. Without them, it would have been very hard to continue, as our family has limited resources.
如果没有这样的费用，其实很难就是这样子走下去，因为其实家里领的补助款是有限的。
In gratitude for such assistance, Huang Xiaen has wanted to give back and uses his time outside of school to do just that. As well, despite his financial situation, he donates to his Tzu Chi Bamboo Coin Bank every day.
I really owe a big thanks to Tzu Chi. In my years of college, I have received 3 scholarships from Tzu Chi. They were also a source of moral support and gave me the hope and courage to continue on in my academic journey.
一步一步往前走。
像将来要考上医学大学啊，你会不会高兴呢？
高兴啊，这个辛苦也是有代价。
Blowing out birthday candles, as well as celebrating his admission to medical school, Huang Xiaen's success shows that with hard work and a little bit of outside help, just about anything is possible.
We go to Malaysia at the end of the show, where 195 students from 22 different elementary schools gathered to attend a camp hosted by the Tzu Chi Teachers Association in Penang. Through the event, children realized the importance to carry out their filial duties and do good deeds. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.